Hey friends, I need your help. I need you to help me make some flowers for School Board Appreciation Month. And so what's going to happen is you are about to get a piece of paper. It's actually a book page that I have cut. So we have recycled some books that were otherwise going to be thrown away. And so you're going to get that book page. You're going to get a Sharpie. It's not yours to keep, but you can borrow it for this class. And then you need to return it to your specialists before you clean it, or when you clean it, rather, before they leave. You are also going to need scissors and something to color with. Crayons, markers, colored pencils. It really doesn't matter as long as you have something to add color. And so the theme for the banner is going to be planting the seeds of success. So you think about when you plant stuff, how it grows, and it can turn into some kind of grass, or it can turn into flowers, trees, but we're going to focus on flowers. So I'm going to walk you through a really simple, like kind of folk art style flower, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of art with this so you get a little lesson at the same time. And we're going to do radial symmetry. So remember that symmetry, if we've talked about it before, we've talked about bilateral symmetry, which means when you divide something in half, the left side looks about the same as the right side. Radial symmetry is a little different. Radial symmetry starts at a center point, and then you have symmetry that radiates out from that center point. Think of kaleidoscopes, starfish, snowflakes. If you've seen a circular stained glass window, those things have radial symmetry, meaning that not only could you probably divide it down the center vertically, but you could divide it horizontally, you can divide it diagonally, and it looks about the same in each piece. So that is called radial symmetry. So we're going to kind of focus on that a little bit when we draw. So the first thing that I need for you to do is to take your Sharpie, and I need for you right in the middle of this book page, and it doesn't matter which side you use, you are going to put a dot and go ahead and color that in, maybe about the size of your thumbnail, okay? So about the size of your thumbnail. Don't do it too big and don't do it too small. So about the size of your thumbnail, and fill it in. After you do that, I want you to put some kind of petals going out from this dot. And so I'm going to choose, you could do rounded petals. Let me just draw some for you. You could do like a rounded petal. You could do kind of a heart-shaped petal. You could do pointy petals. It doesn't really matter. Just pick a style and stick with it. Rounded are super easy, so you could come out and you do a round one. And then when I'm working on stuff that is round, I like to turn my paper when I work. So you draw one and then you kind of rotate your paper, and that is a lot easier than trying to move your hand around and draw evenly, okay? So some kind of petals all the way around. After you finish that, I want you to draw a circle that is kind of close to the edges of those petals. Okay, so a circle around. So we started with a dot and we filled it in black. It's about the size of your thumbnail. We drew petals all the way around, and then out from those petals we have put a circle around that. After you finish that, I want you to come out a little further, and I want you to put another circle. In this space right here, you're going to put another design. You could put kind of a wavy edge, like a wavy line all the way around. Kind of looks like more flower petals. You could do something like this where it's just lines dividing that space. I'm talking about right here, just lines like that. And I'll show you my samples right here. There are all kinds of things you can do. Lots of them have petals in those spaces. Again, lines like I showed you. You could do dots in there. You could do zigzag in there. It doesn't matter what you do. Just remember that when you're doing it, to maybe stop and rotate your paper as you go. Remember, this is called radial symmetry. The last thing I want you to do is to put something on the outside edge of this circle. It can be very large petal shapes. Please don't do anything little. We're going to have to cut this in a minute, and I don't want you to have something that is going to be difficult to cut around. So don't make anything too complicated. You could do like a wavy edge if you wanted to. You could actually even do another circle out here and put something in between like we just did right here. Whatever it is that you do on the outside out here, make it simple and not teeny tiny complicated, but kind of big. I would like for you also on this outer edge to thicken it just a little. And if you'll look up at my marker for just a second, do you see how I'm just kind of going back and forth with my marker and I'm making the edge just a little bit bolder? This is going to help it really show up. So you just rotate and you just kind of thicken up with your Sharpie that edge. Whatever edge you did, just make it a little thick. Now, you're not going to be putting your name on this because this is going to be part of a banner and you won't get it back. So no need to write your name. Okay. Even if you're not done drawing, go ahead and pause and put the lid on your marker for a moment and let me explain what I need for you to do to finish. And then you can go back to drawing in just a second. Everybody lay your marker down and I need you to look. As soon as you're done drawing and you have thickened up the edge, then I want you to start coloring. Markers really show up great on here like this. If you don't have markers and you need to use crayon or colored pencil, that is fine. The only thing I need for you to do is to make sure that when you use crayon or colored pencil, that you press a little bit so that the color is very vibrant and not super light, okay? So you're mashing down just a little bit. So I'm gonna show you light, looks like this. Press down, is a little bit more vibrant, looks like that, okay? So press down, color very neatly. Need for you to kind of stay in your lines. I would like for you to use lots of colors. So you could do a pattern of colors like I'm doing purple, orange, and then I would have purple right here, which is okay if you have two in a row. But use lots of colors on here. So you're going to color your whole entire flower, any colors you want. Don't use the black Sharpie though because we outlined with that. So make sure you use other colors. And then when you're done, you are going to cut away some of this extra edge. You do not have to cut right up to the black line, okay? So I just want you to cut away some of this extra edge. I would prefer that you not cut on your black outline. I would prefer that you cut outside the black outline so that you still see a little bit of that newsprint, or not newsprint, the book print showing on the edge, okay? So when you're done, you are going to turn in your Sharpie and your flower to your specialist teacher. You do not keep either one of those items. You do not keep that Sharpie. You do not keep the flower. So finish the flower, and when you're done, you turn it in to your specialist teacher that's in with you, and you also turn in your Sharpie, and your teacher will let you know what you need to do next. Now, if you don't, if you're a little older and you want to cut more of this off, this is fine. I was just given this direction really for first grade and kindergarten. It's a little harder to cut in between these petal shapes. So if you want to get in there and cut a little closer to the black, you are welcome to do that, just so that it looks just a little bit neater. But for my younger friends, it's okay if you don't cut in between all these little petals, because I do know that it takes a long time to do that. And y'all haven't had lots and lots and lots of practice cutting, so it may take a long time. So finish this, add lots of color, turn it into your specialist teacher along with your Sharpie, and then your classroom teacher will let you know what you need to do next. Thank you so much for helping me make all these flowers. I'm sure that the school board will really appreciate it.